name's Victoria Welton. Welcome to the Conception Diaries, a vlog series which I've been creating now for a number of months. Today is Wednesday the 2nd of March, and as you can see, for a change, I have Ross with me.
Hello.
So far, the last time I spoke to you was last Monday when I found out that we were on our way to Cyprus. And since that time, quite a lot's actually happened. So I have started my medication protocol. I started that last Monday, I can't remember. And then on day 6, which was last Thursday, I performed my first injection. Now that was very nerve-wracking.
You did very well.
Thank you.
You did very well.
But it was nowhere near as bad as I thought it was going to be. I got in such a fluster. I was going to record a video of how it was done, but no. The morning I tried to do it, I actually threw a paddy fit at poor old Ross. He really had to put up with quite a lot that bad.
I'll explain it later.
Yeah, explain it later. Thursday I started my injections and we went to the GP to do those. So the nurse showed me how to fill the syringe and everything else. And then when I put it in, funnily enough, Ross used the analogy of when you used to be in needlework at school and you used to put the needle under.
In needlework? I didn't use it. I used to be in needle. I was never in needlework at school. I was never in needlework at school.
Yeah, okay. And you put the needle under your skin. So that really helped me sort of rethink what I was doing and helped me get through the sort of pain threshold of all.
I tried to explain to Grace the needle thing, where you just put it under your skin and then feed it out the other side and you get the tiniest bit of skin. And she freaked out. It was quite funny.
Kids are such a wimps.
Yeah, wimps.
Anyway, so it really helped. And then I finished the last injection on Monday. So we did a series of five. And actually, there were a couple of times where I was getting really paranoid because there was bubbles in the medication, so I was worried about all that. So there we go. And now I'm going to hand over to Ross, who's going to tell you what we've been doing since my injection's finished.
Okay, so for 2 days we recovered after Vicky threw everything out of the pram on one of the injections. It was I could see. Shall I explain that?
Yeah, go on.
Okay, so this was probably the 3rd or so injection. Vic had handled the 2nd one perfectly well. I was there to help with that. The next day she attempted to do it by herself and I was downstairs doing my thing and then I heard, Ross! I thought, uh-oh, we've got a problem here. So I dashed upstairs to find a wide-eyed, very wild-haired and insanely worked up Vicky, getting quite worked up because a small bubble had appeared. And I understand why she got so worked up, because a small bubble had appeared under the surface of her skin. So my job was to calm her down at that point, and I was told pretty much in no uncertain terms that I was the world's worst person for attempting to calm her down. I took the syringe off her at this point because I didn't want her to have a sharp object. It was not good for anybody. And I thought, right, well, this is it for this syringe because she's complaining about a bubble in it. It's made it go under the skin, and I thought, right, there's stuff about to fall off this syringe. So I wiped it on my hoodie, which wasn't the best move, but I thought genuinely this syringe is done, we're not using this. And of course this was a red rag to a bull, and then, why are you such a f***ing idiot? And yeah, we had some words at that point. You did, you said that. Oh yeah, you did. Okay. Severally. Yeah, it was quite a good. Well,
I don't remember.
Yeah, I do. And so we had that conversation. Well, we didn't have a conversation. She screamed and I kind of stood there and took it and eventually said, if you carry on acting like this, I'm just going to leave. And then she carried on and I didn't leave. More fool me for that, I suppose. But
shows the measure of you.
I guess so. And then we sorted it all out and measured it and remeasured it, and it went in and it didn't bubble and it was fine. And for the next few days I've been doing the mixing and doing all the doctory things, which makes me kind of pleased because I'm quite good at that. Yeah. And then Vic stabs herself with it. So she does the bit I don't want to do, which is stabbing myself with it, because that wouldn't help at all. So since then we have finished that. We got on a plane. We went to the Travelodge in Crawley for the night before, and that was a good move. Rather than having to rush away first thing in the morning to get the flight to Larnaca. I pronounced it, yay. Go me. Rather than having to get out the door and leave a very distressed young child wondering what was, not wondering what was going on, because she knew what was going on, but distressing her.
Grace, by the way.
Yeah, distressing her. I wasn't. Distressing her before school. We were able to say goodbye to her before she went to bed, leave her with my parents for a few days. And yeah, so we drove up to it's near Gatwick, stayed at the Travelodge, which was perfectly acceptable for what it was. And then it was a 10-minute journey the next morning, check-in. Always takes longer than you remember. We had enough time to grab a quick plate of food. And, oh, Wetherspoons don't serve lunch. It was, what, about 11 something? 11:30, and they were refusing to serve anything other than the breakfast menu, which I thought was weird. So we went to McDonald's. Well done, Wetherspoons, lost some money there. Good job. I didn't intend to eat McDonald's, but, you know,
That's fine.
it was what it was. I enjoyed it. So then we got on the plane, we went on the plane, and the plane was fine, and it didn't crash, and we were happy. And then what? You want to do it more concisely than that? What do you want to say? Everything, and then it took off, and then it did this, and then it...
You're rambling.
And I watched a film about Nazi zombies.
They don't want to know about that.
They do.
No, they don't.
I bet
Shut
they
up
do.
then. Get on with it.
It's called Dead Snow, and it's dead bad. It's actually all right.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. What did you do? Oh, Vic read one of my scripts.
I read
Very, very good.
scripts, yeah. But it was really good. Anyway, we landed...
I'm very talented.
I knew he'd take over if I got him.
Hey, you asked me to talk. This is what you get.
Yeah, all right.
Okay, so we landed, and we got picked up by the chap who had been arranged for us by Team Miracle, who brought us to here, which is the Fairmont Holiday Village, which we'll show you later, but it's bloody lovely. And Rishad, the owner, I'm guessing he's the owner, he had waited out for us to check us in, make us our meal as soon as we got in, which was marvellous because we were very, very hungry. And we got a kind of rice and chip and salad combo with a bunch of chicken on it and some bread. Oh, it was good. It was what we needed.
So then today was day one of the medical procedure, or so we thought, because today we thought Ross was supposed to do his part of the bargain, because we decided, or Ross quite rightly said, he's bringing our baby here and I'm taking it back. So he was supposed to go and do, or we thought he was supposed to go and do his part today. So we got a lift to, they came and picked us up at 11 o'clock this morning, and we got taken to the, I think it's called the Coition. It's the British Medical Hospital here anyway. And we met Dr. Ferdevs, who's performing all the procedures and doing all the medication for us. She really knows her stuff. So when we got there, we got told that our donor isn't actually ready till tomorrow with her, with all her egg
follicles.
With all the follicles, and they weren't doing the egg harvest until tomorrow. So what they decided to do today is just scan my interiors to make sure the lining of the womb was thick enough. They
make it sound like changing rooms.
I know.
Changing wombs.
So they scanned the lining of my womb to make sure the endometrium was thick enough. Now they were looking for a 7.5 millimetre.
Yes.
And mine's 8, so that's really good news. Already, yes, because it actually doesn't need to be ready till next week. But what they did find was a follicle, which is obviously not what we need now. You know, forget the fact that we needed it 3 or 4 months ago.
Damn follicle.
But we don't need it, so they had to give me an injection at that point to make it release the egg, and so it dissipates and it's gone by the time.
If there is an egg, there may not be.
There might not be, yeah. But they wanted to open it and make sure it had gone and dissipated into my system, ready for the implantation next week. So that's all done. So now, the rest of the day's been ours. So now we've got to go back tomorrow.
Date with the cup.
Yes. And bless him, I have to tell everybody this, Ross got offered a room with a video or a room with me. And he chose me. So I trumped the video.
I thought it was a room with a video camera. I thought they wanted to watch me.
He's lying. But apparently, according to Umit, who is our medical go-between, I want to call him, because he translates Dr. Ferdevs and he knows all the procedures, and he's the guy in charge there by the looks of things. He actually said that most men choose the video option, so I actually feel really happy.
I didn't like the uncertainty. You don't know what you're going to get. It's like a box of chocolates. A disgusting,
So,
disgusting box of chocolates.
And I think we have to round off this video now with the wonderful news that yesterday, March the 1st, Tuesday March the 1st, in the evening when we got here just before dinner, I wondered what Ross was up to.
I was sneaking around.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He came back here because he said he needed the toilet, and he actually came back here to ask my mum for permission.
No.
What?
Blessing.
Oh, sorry.
Didn't ask permission.
Okay. He asked my mum's blessing.
Unless Anne's watching this, in which case I ask permission.
He asked my mum's blessing to ask me to marry him. So out on our balcony last night, this happened. He got down on one knee and he asked me to marry him. And of course I said yes. And then we rang Grace. And Grace gasped and then she started really crying, didn't she?
Yeah.
Bless her.
It was
And,
great. I love it when
oh
children
God,
cry.
It was
Amazing.
just so wonderful. But she was really, really, really happy. I said, "Are you happy?" She said, "Yeah." And then I've asked her to be my bridesmaid. So she's even more happy and she's already apparently at home picking out dresses. So that's about it for now. We'll be back after tomorrow's procedure to explain how that went, won't we?
Yes.
Yes. And then the next time after that probably won't be until we're at home. Because everything's moved on a day, the implantation procedure isn't going to take place till the actual day we go home. So we'll be checking out of here, taken straight to the hospital, where they'll perform my part of the bargain, so I can carry our baby home again. And so they're going to give us our own room and feed us and everything, and then take us to the airport so we can fly back. And thankfully, we've got a hotel room booked for that night too, because our flight doesn't land till 11 at night. So the last thing we want is to be travelling back to Somerset at some ungodly hour.
Yeah.
So
Even if it doesn't mean we'll get to see our cat sooner rather than later.
yes, I know, our child.
Well, she's not going to see us that night anyway. Cause
I know
be-
she's staying.
she's staying with Sarah.
Yeah.
Gypsy will be lonely.
Oh,
Yeah.
she'll be okay. She'll be really happy to see us.
No, she
So-
won't. She'll sulk. She'll sulk for at least 2 hours, and then she'll realise she
And
quite
she'll
likes us
realise,
again.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it for now. So we'll speak to you again soon. Thanks for watching.